how people can contact their doctor, give them some few things and all that good stuff.
Yeah, sending the secure message to your provider is an absolute banger of a tool. What I'm actually going to do, Jason, and this is going to be on the fly, so you'll have to excuse me here. There we go. Look, it worked out perfectly. First, I want to show how to get to the public-facing DBQs, and then we'll talk how to look at the DBQ and then send that secure message, because it should be not necessarily copy and paste. You're going to have to explain your symptoms as they are. But if you just Google public VA DBQ, and I'm doing this live right now, Gunny Google goes a far way, okay? Public DBQs, bam. This is what the VA tried to get rid of in like 17, 18-ish. You scroll down, and here's all the DBQs going by body system. I'm going to start with mental health because that's the symptoms are very outlined. And so mental disorders, I'm going to click that, share this tab over here. I'll go, I don't know why it went to the middle, but here we go. You can print this out, save it, download it, do whatever you want. Now, I'm not going to log into my VA profile because all my PII is going to be there for everyone to see. But if I were to send a secure message for my mental health VA claim and I'm wanting healthcare, I'm scrolling down and the mental health DBQ has a whole section titled symptoms. There we go. Section 3, symptoms. And so you can, on your own, you can see I'm checking these right here, right? Suspiciousness, panic attacks that occur weekly or less often, or more than once a week. Whichever one you are, you can just, I'm not going to check all these. Whatever it is for you. And now when I go send my secure message, which I can do on my phone, I can do it online. It maybe takes 10 minutes. Now I can say, hey, doc, I've been really depressed. I have anxiety because of XYZ. I get panic attacks weekly, right? Often 2 to 3 times a week. And this is not a, don't look at this as cheating on a test, because you do have to have those symptoms, right? That sending that secure message is going to warrant an exam. There's a time frame the VHA has on responding to that secure message. And so you're going to have the exam. So by no means am I saying, say you have symptoms that you don't. That's called fraud. But if you have these symptoms, it's an easy way to communicate. And the VA gives it to you right here. Here are the symptoms: impaired judgment, abstract thinking, gross impairment, disturbances of motivation and mood. If you punch the wall in the house and you broke plates because you and your spouse got in an argument, that is something that you can describe to your provider, and really that details the symptoms that are on 38 CFR. And so I wouldn't say, copy paste, what is it up here? Panic attacks more than once a week. I would describe them as they are. Hey, doc, I usually get 2 to 3 panic attacks before I go into work, before I am in a crowd, whatever that looks like for you, you would have to describe your symptoms. But yeah, sending that secure message, the DBQ is a good outline to say, hey, here are my symptoms. So even if the VHA won't complete the DBQ, which by the way is complete baloney for the record, they should, but even if they don't, you now have evidence to say, hey, you know what? I'm going to submit this claim without a DBQ. The C&P examiner is going to complete it. But now I can say, hey, C&P examiner, a few months ago, I've been talking with my VA provider about my depressed mood, my panic attacks, whatever. And so what you're doing during that exam, and this is probably, if you listen to anything of this whole episode or any other episode we have, this is the golden nugget here. If during your C&P exam, the words that come out of your mouth aren't one-time complaints, but they reference your medical evidence. So, hey, doc, I reported to my healthcare team that I get panic attacks more than once a week. Just by saying that, and you have the evidence, it forces the C&P examiner to concede because you have the evidence. And if for whatever reason they don't, which is the C&P examiners are the other topic we're going to go to here in a second, even if they don't, you have the evidence, and that is what allows you to do a high level review. What I see most often, Jason, is veterans submit claims without evidence. And the single point of failure during that scenario is the CMP. You are relying on the CMP examiner to do it for you, which, hey, if you get a good one, roll tide, brother, or whatever they say down there, right? If you don't, you are in the same boat as everyone else, where you felt like you had a good exam because you expressed, you were vulnerable, you said what you needed to say, but the examiner's like, nah, you don't get panic attacks more than once a week, right? So it really takes the voice away from the examiner and it gives it back to the veteran with evidence. And since it's sending the secure message is one of many ways veterans can do that. But yes, absolutely solid. Did that spark any thoughts, or you want to move on to CMP examiners?
Yeah, let's move on.
There's no one yeah. No one I dislike more. Sorry, go ahead. Go ahead.
I know. Well, I think the claims companies are right up there. So, I just want to double down on how valid what you just said was. When you're expressing it to the CNP examiner and you're referencing that this is all documented in my book, people are lazy, right? A CNP examiner should read through everything that they got. Do they? Probably not. They do a once quick glance over, right? So when you're saying, oh yeah, it's in my medical records and I've said it, now that puts it on them to either believe you or go look for it themselves. And when they find it, they have to concede, like you said. So you need to make sure it's in there. Whether they go look or they just believe you, that's huge, right? Because like you said, now they don't have to interpret anything. They don't have to go, let me put my thinking cap on here. No, you have it documented. Now they can't contradict that. That would be ridiculous. So they would look like a fool if they contradicted it. So they won't, because their narcissism won't let them, right? But they're doctors, right? So anyway, back to you.